Video games have been around as early as the 1940s, with more recognizable games being Tetris, Solitaire, and the Mario franchise. However, video games in that time have taken incredible advancement in technology and how they are played and what the idea of the game is. This wider spectrum of video game appeals to a more general population, allowing for a better ease of access into the gaming world. The more popular video games become, the more people worry about the side effects that may be introduced. Especially when very young kids are playing video games at such an early age, this could lead to harsh side effects in the development of their brains. When looking at the main points that involve analyzing video games, it can be boiled down to the social aspect of a game, the cognitive function of a game may provide, emotional effects a game can cause, mostly being anger, and physical function needed for a game. It is believed, though, that video games overall provide more of a benefit to kids than it does hurt them. Before going into more detail, there'll be three games that are going to be used as a sort of a reference, these games being Minecraft, Fortnite, and the Call of Duty franchise. Each of these games get increasingly more violent in the content that they show. When viewing the social aspect of gaming, this can be viewed as a great benefit to any kid who may talk to people in games. Kids can work on socializing and connecting with a person without having to be there in person, allowing a kid to be more like themselves and work on talking. Unfortunately, depending on the game, such as Call of Duty, most people are going to be unpredictable in what they say and how they act towards any person. The cognitive function of a video game is based on its mechanics on how a game works. Some games are very straightforward, such as both Fortnite and Call of Duty. Collect weapons, fight, and win. Minecraft, on the other hand, has no end objective. There are certain things you can do within the game, however, it's mostly a free roam game, allowing anyone to be creative. This isn't to say, though, that other games are also made to be thinking games or educational for the player. Depending on what is being played, certain aspects of games can lead to an increase of dopamine levels for the users, and if not regulated, this can lead to abnormal amount of happiness that won't last forever. This can lead to depression, anxiety, withdrawals, etc. However, these effects only come into play through a long extended period of time on one specific game without general regulation. Physical function is relatively the same throughout all games, with either a mouse or keyboard or a controller as the main way to control the game. Both of these ways can lead to an extensive amount of strain on fingers, leading to arthritis or carpal tunnel syndrome. However, once again, this is only if there is a long extended period of time on video games without regulation. However, VR does provide plenty of physical experience with games such as Beat Saber. The general points that can be taken away from the positive effects that are within video games are both kids with and without ADHD are able to pay more attention within educational video games. This can help reduce anxiety and improve attention. Educational games are viewed as easier alternatives than in-person visits. Video games can fill gaps for intervention that is provided to kids with mental disabilities. In adolescents with ASD, autism spectrum disorder, improved thinking skills, or help those with degenerative diseases gain motor function at least back to their hands. However, negative effects of the gaming world are high addiction due to quick fixes of dopamine that is easy to acquire. Prolonged exposure to video games can increase addiction. Other people playing video games are unpredictable on how they would act, and regulation of dopamine levels will become difficult, leading to regular dopamine fixes becoming unenjoyable. Both people who play games and parents of kids who play games can determine whether or not video games are hurting themselves or their child, and whether or not it is helping them. Overall, video games have more of a benefit to kids than the negatives.